Hello from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in, of course, Mid-Ohio, America. We're here for round one of the 2019 America's Rallycross Championship. 6 rounds this year. My name's Andrew Cole. This is Bucky Lasek. Bucky.
Hey.
Great to have you back, man. Looking forward to a new season. Last year was good fun, but we've got a whole new calendar, whole new teams and driver lineups. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be really great. We have a new championship driver driving for a different team. We have new guys coming up from ARX2 and the Supercars, so I'm all eyes.
Yeah, we're not sure who's going to be fastest. We've seen free practice this morning already. Got a timing screen just here. Looking at the top 6, there was only about 0.6 of a second in between the top 6 drivers. And in fact, Scott Speed was fastest in his brand new Subaru. So it's going to be a fantastic season. Tanner Faust, his old teammate, just 1/10 of a second behind. Those guys, the gloves are going to be off, aren't they? Because up until now, they've always had to play nice.
It is going to be on. There's no team orders because they're no longer on the team. So it's going to be great to watch. And actually, the Subaru team actually is going to be awesome to watch also, because you got 3 guys there battling. They want to win, but they also want to all get to that podium.
Right, it's going to be fantastic. We're at round 1, but take a look at the championship for this year, where we're heading. So we're at Mid-Ohio. You can see there. Cooper Tires ARX of Mid-Ohio. We've got a double header coming up for ARX of Gateway in Illinois. Then we're heading up to Canada alongside the FIA World Rallycross Championship in Canada, Trois-Rivières, the famous street circuit. And then it's down to COTA, the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas for round 5. And we'll be coming back here at the end of the season to Mid-Ohio to finish off with another Cooper Tires ARX of Mid-Ohio. So I say 6 rounds for the ARX Supercars, including that doubleheader at Gateway. And in fact, we're going to be having 9 rounds for ARX too. So those guys are doing a doubleheader everywhere they go. The ARX guys will be doing doubleheaders here this weekend. The only time they have a single header is when we go to COTA just for that one-day event. So, Bucky, the ARX2 cars as well, going to be good fun to see those guys do battle. And I'm particularly keen to see how the 2 guys who stepped up, Picoy and Bigham, are up in a supercar now. It's a big step up.
Those guys are in a supercar. I talked to them earlier about it, and they said basically it's like jumping from like a spec like Miata, something really slow and kind of momentum driving, into like a shifter cart type of thing where you can power it in, you can kind of make mistakes and recover easier. So there's a lot more power under their right foot.
Okay, looking forward to seeing how they get on. So let's take a look at the track guide for this brand new Rallycross circuit here at Mid-Ohio. We can take a look at the layout for you and show you exactly what's going to be happening. That is the start line, which is just across from our commentary position. There you can see it's up towards turn 1, which is a 90 right. It's 1.2 kilometres long. The Joker lap, an extra couple of 100 metres, 60% asphalt, 40% gravel. Clockwise, you can see that Joker up at the far end of the circuit is tarmac around the outside, and around the inside, the standard lap is gravel off camber, dropping down before they come into the merge just before a jump. So it is a technical track, and that's that straight which comes down towards the finish line. You can see down the end of the course there's a little chicane. Bucky, they're going to be coming flat out down towards our commentary position into that hairpin right, the second to last corner.
Yes, they are. They're going to be coming out flat. And actually, we're right at the braking point, so we got the greatest point of view. And I think there's going to be some great overtaking there. And also, I'd like to see the merge before the jump. I can't see that action.
Very much looking forward to that. That's all literally. We're up a tree house, are we calling this?
Yeah, it's either a tree house or like a sniper hut.
It's a cool position. That down there is like a mega fast straight, which goes down to an incredible section, of course, here at Mid-Ohio. The sports car course is amazing. We might go and take a look at that later, but of course it's all about the Rallycross stand. So that braking zone to the hairpin is literally just underneath the commentary position. So we are really looking forward to this. Hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. Be able to catch all the action, of course, live across various outputs. Facebook is a great place to be watching as well. So partner with Facebook this year, and you'll be able to see all the different streams through the course of the weekend. So ARX2, you'll be able to watch their qualifying 1, 2, 3 today, semi-finals and final. And ARX, of course, we've got Q1 and Q2 coming today, Q3, Q4, and their semis and finals tomorrow. We're going to go down now and have a catch-up with James Rimmer, raced in ARX2 last year, and is reporting from the pits for us this year. James.
Thanks, Andrew and Bucky. Wow, are we excited to be here this weekend. So you can see behind me, we're still waiting for some cars to get here for pre-grid. But if you take a look to your left here, you'll see Fraser McConnell racing for the Dirtfish team. Jamaica native, but like Bucky and Andrew said, we are so excited to be here. There's a new track, we've got new drivers. So let's have a word here with Fraz real quick. Hey Fraz, how's it going?
I'm good, happy to be here.
Yeah, how's the track feeling? How's the car feeling? I know you've been doing a lot of RX2 rounds. How does this differ a little bit?
Yeah, the track evolved a lot from free practice 1 to free practice 2. I mean, this Dirtfish car is moving pretty quick. We looked at some data in the pits just a while ago, and I feel comfortable, the team is confident, and we're going to go out there and give a result.
Well, good. You were fastest in practice, so let's hope that keeps up.
Fraser McConnell, very happy with the car. Of course, Fraser we've seen in RX2 alongside the World Championship for several events this year. And he's had some support from some pretty famous Jamaicans. Usain Bolt has been reposting footage of him racing.
That.
Yeah, and Sean Paul as well, who was at Speed Machine at Silverstone. So we saw Fraz last year, of course, in ARX2. It was his first year in ARX2, and he was a really exciting driver, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an awesome driver to watch. He had the excitement. He was a good wheelman. He went for the passes, and he's pretty consistent.
He's been going for it in RX2 as well. He made a fantastic pass around the outside. I'm liking this. So on their feet, I think it's potentially time for the national anthem here at the circuit. Either that or the fans are extremely excited about the cars coming out. Bit of both, I think. Well, Cole Keats down on the grid.
All right.
Pulling up alongside him is J.R. Hildebrand. So
J.R. IndyCar racer.
Yeah.
Making his debut today.
We've got with Gray Ledbetter coming back as well. So, a great lineup of drivers for you in ARX2. So fantastic stuff, about to go racing. But if you're brand new to Rallycross and you've got no idea what's going on, it's only the second year for ARX, let's take a look at RX education for you. So ARX education, if you are new to this fantastic sport, this is how it works. First of all, what is Rallycross? Well, it's 6 rounds this year, and American Rallycross is a mixture of rallying and circuit racing. This is round 1, and this is what happens in round 1. 4 qualifying heats. There are up to 5 cars per race. Only the top 12 qualify for the semi-finals. In the semi-finals, then the top 3 go through, and the bottom 3 are eliminated. It's on to the final. 6 cars in one final, and that will decide who wins the event. They score points through the course of the weekend as well. So it's not as complicated as it sounds, Bucky, is it? I know you want to have some new viewers,
but you just taught me.
Yeah, we're good? We're good?
Yeah, we're good. I'm good now. I know what I'm doing.
We're good. All right, cool. Well, we're looking forward to going racing. So let's take a look down at the lineup of the guys who are in the ARX2 pre-grid getting ready to go. And we can talk you through some of the faces that are going to be taking part this year. So we've got 7 cars here this weekend. And Bucky, we've got some real famous American names in people like J.R. Hildebrand and Sage Karam. You know, these guys are coming from single-seater up at Indy 500 level. Yeah. But they're coming here with a huge smile on their face to take part in ARX2.
Yeah, and they're jumping in a car that they've never raced before on a surface that they're not used to, loose surfaces. These guys don't run on dirt. So just hearing all the feedback from them, it's been pretty interesting. You know, right now they're just learning.
Yeah, totally. And what I found fascinating as well was Sage Karam this morning, I think, was P2, wasn't he, in ARX2?
Yeah.
And he literally hasn't driven it. They were laughing in the press conference saying yesterday, I never drive on the dirt on purpose.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. We've got J.R. Hildebrand is in this first race, along with Gray Ledbetter and Fraser McConnell. So we've already told you about Fraser, who's strapping in at the front of the grid. That is Gray Ledbetter's car. That's the front right corner of her RX2 machine. ARX2, of course, over here in the States. Now, Gray is just 14 years old, and the age limit is... great, though, isn't it? The age limit's been lowered to 14 in ARX2 this year to allow drivers to come and learn Rallycross from a younger age. And Bucky, you know, we're not quite as young as we used to be. It's great for these guys. They can learn so fast at that age.
It's amazing. Like, I mean, you can literally go jump in a cart, learn how to drive somewhat, and then jump in one of these race cars. I mean, my daughter's 11, and this guy's 14. It blows me away.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing to see how Gray gets on. She's been racing karts, and then she's moved on to, she's been on racing UTVs as well. So also an interesting mix of experience there. She's, you know, I mean, the Sage Karam and Hildebrand come obviously with a lot more experience and age, but only of tarmac racing. And so hopefully Gray's going to be able to get up to speed quickly with the dirt sections of the track as well.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say Guy.
No, that's cool. It's cool. That's all. We're saying Guy. I said guys in the press conference yesterday. It's like, you know, thanks very much. But it's been all smiles from Gray Ledbetter as well. So just waiting for the guys to grid up now. We've got another support category here this weekend as well. We've got ARX3, who've been taking part with buggies, but ARX2, of course, the support category with these guys, and then on to ARX, the supercars as well. So we are getting ready for Q1. So the first of our cars are on the line pretty much. They're in the pre-grid. They're going to do a tyre warm, tyre clean now, which gets them up to the start. And then we're going to see our first laps in anger. Gray Ledbetter pulling up. She will be on the pole. Now, yesterday, these guys had a slightly different driver draw than we do in the World Championship. It's all randomised in the World Championship here in ARX. The numbers, were randomised, and then when the number was called, the driver was able to pick their position. So the two first names to come out, I think, were Brad DeBerti and Gray Ledbetter, because, Bucky, they chose the inside line. And as a general rule, if you're a driver, you really want the inside line, don't you?
You do, yeah. You want the inside line to the first turn, and the first turn is a right-hander. Well, actually, no, the first turn, yeah, it is a right-hander. So, so she's good. She's set up on the inside for the first turn, and that's what you want.
Right, let's take a look then at the grid for the first race of America's Rallycross 2019. It's ARX2, round one from Cooper Tires, ARX in Mid-Ohio. Gray Ledbetter on the inside, next to JR Hildebrand and Fraser McConnell. Fraser McConnell was super fast this morning. We would expect him to be. These guys, of course, Hildebrand's never raced in RX. Gray Ledbetter too, stepping up to it. McConnell has done 3 rounds of the World Championship already. So McConnell is up to speed, and Bucky, I think we can expect to see him really go for it. Hildebrand, I think, will take a sensible approach, but it's all about getting a good start. It's uphill, and these cars are not the easiest to start, and it is McConnell who gets the best start. So McConnell straight into the lead. There's wheel-to-wheel action behind between Ledbetter and Hildebrand. Hildebrand trying to go around the outside. In fact, Gray Ledbetter holds on to that position, so Hildebrand gets marked there and drops a little way back. And this is your first look at this track, so let's talk our way around a lap, Bucky. Uphill here, and we went around this morning at Golf Buggy. There is actually quite a lot of a climb, isn't there, towards the top end of the circuit?
It is very uphill into this dirt section. And we got JR taking the Joker, which is on the outside there. It's a tarmac, and really interested to see how this merge works out.
Yeah, there's some tyre bales there that have to come around before they get onto the jump in the centre of the track. Ledbetter coming down into this chicane. Look at the way Fraser moves the car around. You can see how comfortable he is in it, and that comes from that seat time, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, he's had so many hours in this car. He's a rally driver, so he knows how to handle this car, and he's using all the track there.
Hildebrand in the background, remember, has jokered. So again, if you're not familiar, take a look at the graphics at the top of your screen. If there's a red line, they're yet to take the Joker lap. Now, the Joker lap is 1 lap, which is longer than the standard lap, which you have to take in every qualifying race, semi-final or final. And Bucky, it's a great tactical tool, isn't it? You know, in things like F1, we have pit stops where people make tyre changes for strategy. But in Rallycross, the Joker lap is our strategy.
It is. Yeah, it looks to be about a second and a half, judging by the car distance that Hildebrand came off of Gray once he went through it. So I think it's going to come into play. I don't know how the drivers and the spotters are going to utilize it. You know, are they going to take it first lap, or are they going to take it last lap? We haven't figured that out yet. Here's Fraser.
He's weight transferring that car beautifully through that chicane. Now, we know yesterday it was one of the last pieces of track which they prepared, and some of the drivers are saying, actually, the grip there, downhill, left, right, it's quite tough. You know, we can see the track looks wet. That's actually dust decks, which they put down to stop the dust from flying up too much. It looks slippery, but this Fraser just looks utterly on top of this car.
Yeah, if you look at him when he goes into the dirt section and when he comes out of the dirt section, there's not a lot of car wiggle. If you look at Gray and if you look at Hildebrand, you can see when they come out of the dirt section, the car kind of does some dancing around. So it looks like Fraser has his car set up a little bit better, or he's just handling it better.
Fraser doing a fantastic job so far. He's going to opt to Joker on the last lap. Now, this inside line, Bucky, the off camber through the exit there, you can see it in that shot there, can't you? It's really off camber.
I think what you're going to notice a lot more in the supercars when they're carrying more speed. But you can definitely see the off camber there, and it's going to definitely play effect on the guys coming out of the Joker, and the guys that are on the main lap staying in, hitting the off camber. It's going to take them outside. The guys on the Joker lap are going to be able to go inside, so there might be some over-under happening there.
Fraser around the right-hander onto his last lap, and he now is going to head up. He'll have to take the Joker this time. He's got a massive lead, 8.8 seconds, and Hildebrand has managed to pass Ledbetter. A lot of dirt on the tarmac sections of the track as well. So the track, a Rallycross track develops a lot through the course of not even just a race, but particularly over the course of a weekend. It's going to change, isn't it?
It's always changing, and that's the rad thing about some of these drivers. And that's the most exciting thing about Rallycross and rally driving, is the fact that no turn is ever the same. We have Fraser coming in from the Joker here. He's got a really good lead. He just looks like he's in cruise control.
So Fraser, well, I think Fraser was fastest, wasn't he, in ARX 2 this morning during practice? So doing a great job. Given us great interviews so far this season. If you've not kept up with him, I say he's been competing in the support category for the FIA World Rallycross Championship, which is the leading Rallycross Championship, clearly being at world level. ARX right up there here in the United States. And of course, we'll be crossing the border up to Canada as well later on in the season. McConnell takes this one. Hildebrand crosses the line at 7.4 seconds behind. We're waiting for Gray Ledbetter. I wonder if she's got a slight issue on the car. It didn't look to be turning into, well, potentially a puncture there, but it really didn't look to be turning in too well at all. Her lap times were not what we would have expected from free practice. So Fraser McConnell takes it from JR Hildebrand and Gray Ledbetter. That's the first race done, and that's the target time for everyone else. Good stuff from the first race. Fraser having it pretty easy. This first round, the Q round of Q1, basically is done with a random draw, so you don't always meet the fastest drivers. And from here on in, it will be done from results. So Q2, basically, the grid for Q2 will be formed from the results of Q1. So Fraser McConnell will be up against the fastest drivers, Bucky. So you know, in your Q1 draw, you kind of want to be against quick guys. You don't want to get caught in traffic. He was lucky, well, not lucky. He got a great start, and he just checked out. Yeah. But your Q1 can be quite random. You can end up in a nice, easy race, or you can end up with a bit of a fight. We're going to see some great action when we get to Q2, and the fast guys are in together.
Right, and they're staged up to their timing competitors.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
So it's definitely better racing, closer racing. I don't know what happened to Gray's car in that last race. She was definitely off a lot, by a few seconds a lap, so she definitely has some issues.
Okay, so problems for Gray Ledbetter. It's her first race here in ARX2, 14 years old, great to see her. JR Hildebrand was just 7 seconds off the back of the pace of Fraser McConnell. Fraser McConnell, say, with some experience this year already. I think he's done 3 rounds of the FA World Rallycross Championship pool category RX2, so good result for Fraser. And James is actually with Fraser McConnell now, so we can head down and speak to Fraser with James Rimmer. Let's go and have a word.
Fraser, you absolutely dominated that heat race. How did that feel?
The track is really fun to drive. I mean, the dirt section, you can really throw the car and drive it like a rally car, and I really like that.
Great. Well, thank you. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Fraser very happy, and he should be. You'd expect him to be happy. He's saying really loving the dirt section. So he comes from a rally background, Bucky, and that does play into the dirt sections of the track.
Yeah, it looked like he was just out there having a little go, like
afternoon
just having some
drive.
fun. Yeah, just cruising. Doesn't look like the track's changing much.
No, early days, isn't it? We'll have to see. Obviously, the surface changes in terms of where the dirt goes. We get dirt on the tarmac. When they water the track to keep the dust down, that can affect time. So sometimes the second race in a session can be quicker than the first one. But we're going to find out because the second race is on the line and ready to go. So let's take a look at the grid for race 2. On the inside, Brad DeBerti. Then it's Sage Karam, Cole Keats and Alex Keys. Now, Cole Keats and Alex Keys, of course, have got experience of RX2 from before.
Always a top guy, always top 3 guys.
Absolutely. Some great results at the end of last season in Kota. And then looking at the rest of the grid, say Sage Karam, I think a surprise to some to see him up in P2 during free practice. Yeah, absolutely brilliant result.
Surprise to everyone. No one's expecting that.
And DeBerti making a debut in ARX2 as well. Spoke to DeBerti yesterday, super excited. Maybe too excited as he jumped the start, so...
Couple people moved there.
Yeah, hard to tell. DeBerti may have responded to somebody else. You can hear the siren in the background, which is the jump start siren, so we will get a notification as to who that is. So this brings us on to penalty joker laps. So if you jump the start, you get a penalty joker lap. So we'll be able to take a look and see who's done it, because they'll hold up a board normally in front of the drivers.
I almost want to say Sage. I saw a little...
Let's have a look, yeah. So there is, on the floor, there is a jump start. It might even have been on the far side. It could have been Keys.
Might have been Keys a little bit on Keys. But
hard to... Keys was creeping, but that was a long hold on the lights, Bucky, and then the clutch starts to get hot too, and the cars can start to creep.
You might adjust your foot a little, you know what I mean? You might get a little jump. Who'd they give it to here?
There we go. So it's DeBerti. It's been shown the flag. spectators up on the banking. They were here first thing this morning, early doors, and Bucky was saying that's quite unusual. There's some keen fans here.
Yeah, I mean it's unusual to see the fans here so early. I mean, we were getting here when all the drivers and stuff were getting here before they were even practicing, and the fans were all lined up on the hillside there.
A couple of Fraser McConnell fans in the crowd there. Potentially, I've seen his dad and his sister at a few events this year as well. I know he went home for the first time from Europe after his last round. Where was that? Silverstone. He competed at Silverstone 2 weeks ago in the UK. He went home for the first time. He'd been over in Sweden with the team who were running him in the World Championship. So he's been running by OMSC in the World Championship, who will be a name familiar to American Rallycross fans, I'm sure. And then he's been run by the Dirtfish squad here.
Get off the platform!
We've got somebody shouting there in the background. Not quite sure who that was. Apologies if you heard that home. Must have been next to a trackside microphone there. I'd suggest, Bucky, can you locate him? I'm not quite sure where he is.
I don't know. Oh, there we go. We got the dogs out, the family. They know the spot. The locals know the spot right there. They know the best view in the house.
That dog's chilling as well. I like that. We're not dogs are not allowed to all UK circuits actually, so we can take them to some, but not all circuits. So it's quite nice. You can take the dog along for a day.
Why can't you bring the doggies?
Well, that's what I mean. You'd bring Buddha, wouldn't you, to one of these?
I'd bring Buddha. He'd probably eat someone.
We've got a little bit of a hold up. We're just waiting to get things back underway.
Steve Arpin, look at that. He's checking out the RX2 cars.
So he'll be down there having a look as well at the lights, Bucky. So that's a trick that a lot of the professional the drivers do in ARX, isn't it? They go and stand at the back of the grid and they watch the lights and try and figure it out.
Yeah, get the timing down.
There's the spotters tower at the back, underneath the canopy at the back of the grandstand. So those guys are actually up at the jump because then they can see pretty much the whole track. So me and Bucky have got a good view from the bottom. We can't see every inch and they'll always try. Patrick Sandell.
We got Rob Weir there on the left, old Subaru Motorsport manager, and Patrick Sandell, old buddies saying hi to each other.
Okay, so we're hearing from race control they're not sure who jumped at the start. So me and Bucky saw Keys move on the far side of the grid.
But did he move enough? Did he move enough to trigger?
Because it's 12 centimeters.
Yeah, I don't think he moved enough to trigger it.
We'll try and talk you through it.
But I think Sage moved enough to trigger it.
Definitely. So Bucky, they put them. They have a jump start center, which is like a lever, isn't it, like this, which is 12 centimeters in front of the car. We're going to take another look at this, and you have a look on the far side and see if you think Keys moved enough. We're not sure.
Right in front of the car there.
Keys is on the right. In fact, you can see the jump start center in front of Keys' car. So let's see if he does enough to not. He does.
Oh, he does.
It's Keys.
Yep, it was Keys.
So interestingly, Keys did it. Then at that point, the jump start lights would have appeared. So the jump start lights would have appeared up on the start board. So when Keys goes, the jump start lights flash orange. Now, Bucky, if
that's when you pin it.
Exactly, you just go, don't you? So they're just looking for any light at all.
As soon as you see someone move, you go, no matter what.
So it is confirmed as Keys. So it won't be DeBerti doing the penalty joker lap. He was shown that flag, but they got that wrong. And DeBerti, that may well have come via his spotter. So they could have appealed that immediately. So who's going to get a good start this time round? We got another jump, so Sage Karam has gone this time. So, okay, Bucky, this is getting interesting now. We could be looking at double jokers for everyone.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And it's not faster, so it's going to be a long race.
Yeah, we mentioned that this morning, didn't we?
Did you bring any popcorn?
I didn't, I'm afraid. No. We'll remember to get some up here for Q2. That's if it doesn't blow away, along with all our paperwork, which we've been rescuing from the forest next to us so far this morning. So kids down there with the ear defenders on.
I don't think this one will be so hard of a decision to make. It's pretty obvious. So let's set these cars back up. Let's get them off.
Yeah, definitely need to get these guys away. Doesn't do your nerves any good, does it? For the two drivers who now haven't jump started, they're going to be like, "Come on, let's go."
Come on, guys. We're professionals here.
You're keeping us waiting. There's Sandell again. So look for Sandell looking at the lights. Sometimes you'll even see the drivers mimicking holding onto the handbrake. So they actually sit there at the back of the grid. They hold a handbrake visually. They'll look at the lights and they actually release it as the green lights change. It's like a mental drill, Bucky, they go through.
Some of these guys have apps on their phones, too.
Really?
They're doing drills, yeah.
For what,
like
for reaction times?
Yeah, I think Scott Speed has some crazy app going on for him.
There you go, inside information from Bucky Lasek, who was, of course, himself a supercar driver with Subaru Motorsport USA. It's the new team name for Subaru this year.
Here we go.
Right, come on then, let's do this. So, Sage Karam in P2 and Alex Keys in P4 have jumped the start. This time we get away. DeBerti's got a good start, but Cole Keats has got the best of the starts. We should expect that really. He's had the most seat time in these cars. Keats leads onto the dirt section. Sage Karam maybe going to get P2 here. He does. Coming around the outside, it's Cole Keats who nearly got up his inside, but nicely done there. Sage Karam managed to hold on to P2, but whole shot and the lead for Keats.
Keats is looking good. I don't think he's going to have a problem. He doesn't drive his mirrors too much, so we got two guys peeling off into the Joker.
So Karam has gone, and Keats as well. So those guys have gone, haven't they, because of those jump starts. Bucky coming into the merge, super close alongside DeBerti. DeBerti wants to try and hold on to this position because these guys have got a Joker again, straight up the inside. Sage Karam driving super aggressive on the loose. Impressive stuff.
With the Joker.
Tidily done, yeah, holds on to P2, having Joker ready. Remember, though, he's got to go again thanks to that puncture. Look at the dirt flying out from his car as he jumps on the anchors at the end of the straight, and that often just bursts out from the rings, doesn't it?
He took a very defensive line on the inside there, too.
In the background, Keys is trying hard to attack DeBerti, but can't find a way through at the moment. And Keys, of course, with another Joker to go. So I had a look up the inside there, and it's actually cost himself a bit of time. Bucky, sometimes it's best not to have a go, isn't it, and just to follow until there's an actual space to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't just kind of look at your spots and kind of think you're going to do it. You got to like commit. You got to either wait or go.
DeBerti goes Joker on this lap, so DeBerti going around the outside on the tarmac, coming in for the merge. Cole Keats at the front is coming under attack up the inside. Sage Karam with the pass, but he's going to end up out on the dirt. Sage Karam is absolutely sending it. Cole Keats has gone Joker, which sees Karam right up behind him. We know Karam's got another Joker to go, but he's on a mission.
Oh, yeah, this is a good battle. So, scratch what I said earlier about Keats driving his mirrors. I guarantee his eyeballs are all over his mirrors right now because Sage is coming in.
He is indeed. So, Sage is going to have to go Joker either on this one or the next lap for his second one. Penalty Joker lap for that jump start. It's a bit of a shame for those guys. They're all going to make it through to the semis, Bucky, obviously with the car count we've got this weekend. But it's really important. If you want to win, I think you need front row in the semis. So you're looking for top four, aren't you, at the end of qualifying?
And these little mistakes, the jumping starts, aren't going to win you championships.
Absolutely not. Those guys go around their Joker lap again and slot back in. So Keys now having a look at Sage Karam. Sage Karam going to be late on the brakes at the bottom of the hill. Is he as late as he was last time? He is. He's getting himself out in the dirty stuff on the outside. Keys going to make the undercut on the exit. Long straight now down. Keys going to look for a gap up the inside into the hairpin. Surely Alex Keys pulls out to the wide. Oh, Sage Karam goes defensive. Rear end of Keys' car sliding around. DeBerti in the background needs to find a bit more pace, but DeBerti is brand new to these cars as well.
He's doing really good. I wouldn't complain. I know his team's probably stoked on his driving right now. The guys have been working hard getting these cars ready for this race. And he's putting it out there right now. First time in the car. He's giving us all a good show.
Yeah, nicely done.
I like that the straight after the jump. That looks like a good spot to set up someone for a pass.
I have to say, I want to go and talk to Sage Karam later, because this dude yesterday was basically, I've never driven on the loose before. This is not a man who looks like he's never driven on the loose before, is it, Bucky? But he's coming under pressure from Keys, but he should be. But Karam has been sending it big time on the brakes, in the corners. Great to see.
Yeah, I mean, for him to break that late in that spot right there in the dirt, I mean, he had a little push, but you saw he fixed it. Next time around, he came in just as strong and didn't have the push, so he corrected. He's doing a great job. A little clip there on the tires.
Checker flag. Keats has taken it 3:48.3, but look at that. Fraser McConnell is 2.1 seconds faster. So Cole Keats wins race 2 of Q1 for ARX 2. But as you can see here, so Cole Keats, look, 3:48.301. Then it's Sage Karam, Alex Keys, and Brad DeBerti. But this is where they slot in. So this is important if you're new to Rallycross. Again, this is how the scoring is done. So the times are compared across the various different races in the qualifying session, and then you're put into order. They were given points. So McConnell will be given 50, Cole Keats 45, Sage Karam 42. Then it goes down from there. It's 40, 39, 38. So you get a big bonus if you're in the top 3 in the session. They're not championship points, they're qualifying points. We add those together at the end of the sessions today. There are 3 qualifying sessions for ARX2 today, and then they go on to their semi-finals and their final session. So if Fraser McConnell is at the top of the standings at the end, he will get what we call TQ, top qualifier. So here's a look back at this one. So this, look at Sage Karam here trying to hold on to this place. He's right in the middle and turns in across the nose. Nicely done, aggressive.
Really nicely done. Actually, on the dirt and everything with the braking, it's tough to judge when you're actually racing against other people. You're hearing these motors. It's so loud inside the car, so you're hearing all these. You're surrounded by all this noise, and to hit your marks, it's hard, especially being in this car the first time.
Tidily done. Couple of jokers as well, unfortunately, in the mix. This was DeBerti around the outside. There's that joker lap merge. The jump, I think, wider than we thought it was looking, but nicely done. It's a win for Cole Keats. Fans up in the stands, they've got a good view. It's a nice day here in Mid-Ohio. Dry and relatively warm. Nice. Dry being the main thing. So I think James is with Cole Keats.
James,
go for it. He can't hear the truck, so James can't hear the truck. Technical issues.
Sorry, I'm having trouble here.
Okay, we can't hear James, so he's going to go. Oh, here we go.
I know that wasn't the way you wanted to start your first Rallycross race with a jump start, but you absolutely killed it out there. How did that feel, and what was your strategy going into that?
Yeah, I mean, the standing starts I've done in the past, you know, you see the lights come on, and then when they go off, that's when you go, and I just got confused because we were sitting there for a long time. We had I think Keys jumped early on the first one, so then we're just sitting there and anxious to go, and then I totally forgot when the get ready goes away that's not actually go. You know, I was just used to lights on and off, and it was actually unfortunate because I had a really, really good start on that one. You know, that would have been like a great start, probably would have put me in the lead, and then, you know, I had to use the joker twice. But thankfully, the joker lap isn't too much of a difference. Car felt great, though. We're definitely fast, just got to get a better start.
Great. Thank you, Sage. Congrats on that great drive.
So here are the standings at the end of Q1, and there are those points I was talking about. Fraser McConnell taking 50 for the top spot from Cole Keats, Sage Karam, Alex Keys, J.R. Hildebrand, Brad DeBerti, and Gray Ledbetter. And it was, of course, Sage Karam that we caught up with at the end of the session there, not Cole Keats. So Cole Keats won race 2, but Sage Karam putting on a great show, making the switch from single-seaters to Rallycross. Right, time then for ARX. Now on to the Supercar class, and we've got a great lineup for you in this first race. Can't wait to see these guys going to do battle around the track. Tanner Faust is on the inside with Pecoy and Speed. We can take a look at the grid now and talk you through these guys. Faust staying in the Beetle, Speed moving teams. Here it is, Tanner Faust, runner-up in ARX last year, staying with Andretti Rallycross. Travis Pecoy, brand new teammate to Steve Arpin in a brand new car that's got Focus running gear underneath the Fiesta. And on the outside, Scott Speed, the champion, who has made the switch to Subaru over the winter and was fastest in free practice this morning. Him and Faust have always had to play nice, not anymore.
Subaru's new driver mod really came up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to this. We spoke about this in the last night, didn't we, Bucky? Saying who did we really want to see race each other? It was Speed and Faust, and Pecoy could be in the mix as well. Here we go. Look for the green. There it is. Great start. Scott Speed on the outside. Tanner Faust, 2 Speed took it up massively, though, on the run up to turn 1. He's going to shut the door. Faust into his door. Faust gets a tap in the side of Scott Speed. Speed goes sideways. Round the outside, Pecoy's trying to go all the way around the outside. These guys can't quite get it done. And in the end, it's Speed that leads from Tanner in second. But great to see these guys going at it straight away, Bucky.
It is. There was no room given. Tanner came in, pushed Speed out. Speed collected himself and held on, tucked it in, and gathered himself up and took the joker. Well, no,
standard lap, yes. Faust has gone
Tanner's
joker.
on the joker. He's getting he wants to get some space here. It's quite dusty.
There's a huge amount of dust. Speed runs a little bit deep down at the bottom of the hill. Tanner keeps it tidy, but Tanner will be really, look at the dust. Tanner will be really unsightly. Now, Bucky said it's warm here, probably mid-20 Celsius. The track, although they wetted it and put dust X down this morning to keep the dust down, you see Faust runs deep again at the end of the straight.
Yeah.
It's drying out, so conditions are changing.
It is changing. You can see the dust. The blue groove isn't really setting up too much, maybe a little bit there. But look at Pecoy. Pecoy's hanging on the Speed right now. I wonder where these guys are going to come in once Tanner.
Well, Tanner is.
Well, Tanner did from what I did see in the background there. Tanner did push pretty hard in that last turn.
Peacoy
Probably lost
around the
some
gravel
time.
section there, not running too wide at the minute. I have to say the Subaru is looking absolutely stunning. Bucky, I know you and me, you know, we don't have any favourites, but used to drive for Subaru. I'm a man of very much of the Colin McRae era, and going back to this classic livery is just fantastic.
The car looks beautiful. Lance Smith and the boys at Vermont Sports Car have put a beautiful package together, and Scott is just running away with it right now.
Yeah, he was looking pretty happy yesterday. He said he was feeling really confident. He actually drove the car, didn't he, last season after the final round. I think the deal had been done in the background already. Of course, it was all super top secret stuff at the time. And he said that the car felt pretty good then, and obviously he knows it's feeling pretty good now. Peacoy, look, just 1.6 off. Travis Peacoy, I spoke to him this morning, and he was feeling pretty relaxed, to be fair. You know, I said, are you nervous about it? And he was kind of like, I've got a job to do, want to get out there and get it done. He's getting it done.
Yeah, he is. He's stoked to be in the supercar. He likes to have all that power under his right foot, be able to shift through these corners with power, and not have that bug of momentum over your shoulders.
Speed into the right-hander at the bottom of the hill. Faust is starting to gain a little bit potentially on
Tanner.
Peacoy now. Peacoy was 1.6 off the back of Speed, so I would suggest Peacoy is dropping back towards Faust, and of course we've got the Joker lap coming up. So at the minute, Bucky, it's 1.3 between Peacoy and Faust, so this is going to give us a good idea of how long the Joker is, because it's 3.7 out to Speed. So 3.7 or 1.3. Let's see how much time is made up by Tanner. So Tanner's going to come up the inside now. Speed all the way around the outside in the big Subaru. But it's looking fantastic. It has to be said. Where is Faust on the inside? He's on the gas. That's where he is. He's going to get Peacoy. So there we go. We know that the Joker is somewhere between. So what was it? It was 1.3 back, wasn't it? He's clearly out in front of Peacoy. But he's not right up on the back end of Speed. So what do you reckon? 2.5?
Man, I thought it was going to be closer.
Yeah, Speed's doing a hell of a job here, isn't he? This is a big marker going down. The ARX champion from last year, 2018's champion, our first ARX Rallycross champion, taking the first qualifying race win. Second place, Faust. And P3 going to Travis Peacoy. Wow.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I was expecting that, you know.
Quite a bit of a gap there. Speed to Tanner.
Scott Speed takes it, look, 329.5. Tanner Faust, 331.3. Travis Peacoy, 335.1. A good job by Scott Speed and by Subaru. They have put the hours in over the winter, and it looks like it's paid off. The Beetle, we know, hasn't had so much development. Tanner said to me yesterday they've done a little bit of work. Look at that. Tanner was right in the door of Scott, wasn't he? That's what we want to see.
Yeah. That's kind of behind the door.
Yeah, okay. Yes, that's okay, you
door.
reckon, yeah? Yeah. Behind the door, Bucky says. This was the cars coming up towards the Joker on the very first lap. And Speed doing a great job out front in the Subaru. The car looks great, doesn't it, Bucky?
It does. Besides the colors, the car is really flat. I do believe they're running like 40 mil lower than normal.
It looks low, you know,
Yeah,
compared
it
to
is
last
lower.
year. The car, particularly at the front, the fenders look super close, don't they, to
Yep.
the front wheels, and also
Totally.
the front splitter is really low to the ground. But in terms of the car, you know, a lot of people say, look, the car's big, but to me, that whatever they've done to it, they've got it on point.
They've done some wind tunnel testing, and they actually have a new aero package coming soon.
Well, there we go.
So they're definitely putting in work over there at Subaru Motorsport. James down with Scott Speed right now.
Scott, your first win in these legendary colors. How good does that feel?
Oh, it feels so good from the outside.
Yes.
Like, that was so important for us to get these launches dialed this offseason. We've obviously done that. It's a super important part of Rallycross. Car's fast. I think I got a bit of damage in the first corner. I think it was clean racing, but I think we got a issue we got to get back in pits and fix. But the car, other than that, has been amazing. So awesome to win at least a heat race in these colors. It feels great.
Well, it's great to see. So thanks, Scott. Hope you have a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
So Scott Speed was keen to get his hat initially. Then he did mention the contact in turn one, as we thought he might, but he's all smiles. And it is Scott Speed who is currently at the top of the times. Here we go then, race 2 is on the line and good to go. Let's have a look at the grid for this one. On the inside, Patrick Sandell. Next to him, Steve Arpin. Then we've got Chris Atkinson and Cabot Bigham. So Bigham, of course, the new teammate to Tanner Fowles, taking over that car that Scott Speed was driving last year. Atco and Sandell, very used to being a part of the Subaru squad, maybe not used to this new car yet, but my goodness me, they'll be sitting in there. They will ascend Speed, cross the finish line just in front of where they're sitting now, and they'll be hoping for more of the same. Meanwhile, Arpin, what can he do with the Focus lump underneath the hood of the Fiesta? We're going to find out. Thumbs up from the Marshal. Look for the ready to race light, bottom right of your screen. That goes out, then it's a random gap to the green. Oh, great start. Arpin has absolutely blown them away off the line. Steve Arpin into P1, into turn 1. Whole shot for him. The two Subarus side by side. Atco on the inside of Sandell now in turn 2. He pushes Sandell wide. Bigham goes up the inside. Contact against Sandell. Will not be happy with that. Right up underneath the rear wing of Atkinson now as they sweep round onto the right-hander. So I reckon he might well go Joker on this lap so he can get a bit of speed. So does Sandell. He doesn't. Nope. Sandell follows line astern and it's Joker for Bigham in the background.
They're really going to be disappointed about that because Sandell is just going to get dusted right now. I don't even know how he's going to be able to see.
It's going to be bad, isn't it, the vision for him in the background. Look at that. It's incredibly difficult for them to judge braking points. Oh, and Arpin's gone way too late on the brakes. Arpin has to fully light it up, pull the car back on again, so he's lost time. Now he's under pressure from Atkinson. He's taken 8 tenths off him, Atkinson, with that one mistake. At this section of track now, Bucky, they can see at least.
Yes, they can see. They got tarmac under their tires, and they can get after it right here. So looks like Arpin's all over the right foot right now. He is just hanging it out there.
Steve was saying he was so desperate to get back at it. Look, listen to that. You can hear the Focus engine note, can't you, in the car? They've worked so hard to package what was underneath the Focus RS-RX back into the Fiesta. Him and Ken Block, you know, they drove the car last year. It was good, the Focus. We saw it take wins at World Championship level, but Arpin wanted to go back to the Fiesta. But how, packaging that kit underneath the hood, absolutely amazing. Sandell on the standard lap. Atkinson has gone Joker. So Atkinson slots back in.
Arpin definitely has been wheeling just as hard off the track as he has been on the track today. He has put this whole program together basically on his shoulders.
Yeah, over the winter, had to work incredibly hard. And he said this morning he needs to take his team manager hat off now. He said, last night was the first night he'd slept 6 hours in a long time. And that, Bucky, there's so much pressure and stress involved in running a team, isn't it? It looks like the dream job, and it is, of course, the driving. But the stuff behind the scenes is really hard. This is not a factory team at all. There's no factory backing for him.
Not at all. This is all Arpin making phone calls, making the magic happen. He refinished up some of these old cars that they ran, some of these Fiestas, freshened them up, and now he's ahead of the factory Subaru team.
Can he hold on? Because in the background, of course, Atkinson has jokered already. Atkinson 3.6 off. We reckon the joker's somewhere around 2.5. So at the minute, what are Arpin's lap times like? So Scott Speed's best lap was a 55. Faust's was a 50.3. Arpin is doing a 51.0. We've seen a couple of little mistakes, haven't we, from Arpin? But he's not a million miles off. Bucky, this morning it was really close, 6 tenths across the top 6 cars.
Yeah, Atco's probably has the fastest lap time right now. But they're all pretty well on the same pace. I don't see anything happening on track crazy, so...
Here we go, Joker lap time then. Arpin and Sandell into the Joker, looking for Atkinson on the inside. Atkinson versus Sandell at the merge in the background. They had contact in turn 1. They're going to have contact again here on the run down the hill.
No.
They're not.
Clean merge there.
So hard to judge your braking points in the dust, but it is Atkinson who comes through, just nudges the front right fender there on the tyre bale at the bottom of the hill. Arpin into the hairpin. And then a lesser Steve Arpin, he's going to take the win here. Fantastic result for him. Couple of little mistakes. I reckon he can go quicker later today. Using some grass on the exit. Atkinson and Sandell crossing line P2 and P3. Now, I reckon then there's been a problem for Cabot Bigham. He's rolling down the hill towards the commentary position now, but I'm not even sure he used the gravel section of the lap on the run down. So Cabot Bigham on a go slow. How many laps did he record? Yeah, Bigham's only recorded 3 laps. He's coming in now for the finish. And in fact, he turns the car away, so that's not the right thing to do. Cabot Bigham should have crossed the line there, Bucky, because he's going to get a DNF, not a finish time, and that's going to give him a way worse point score. So Bigham should have hooked it right there, and he's gone back to the paddock instead.
So is that on a spotter? or is he just rushing back to fix the car?
On the other hand, you know, he knows he's going to make the semis. If there's a big problem with that car, he might be trying to save an engine or something.
He might be trying to get the car back so that the guys can fix it and get it back out there for the next heat.
But that's going to hurt his chances. So Cabot Bigham definitely going to be at the bottom of the standings. Steve Arpin should be happy with that. Now let's take a look in the end. What did he do? He did a 50.8. Yeah.
He's on
So
pace.
Arpin did a good lap. So 50, but he took a couple of tenths off his previous quickest lap on lap 3. We saw a 50.8 from Atco as well. Here's the result. Steve Arpin takes it 331.236 from Atkinson, Sandell and Bigham with a DNF. He does get a DNF. As I said, he didn't cross the line on the 4th lap. This is where they slot into the overalls. Okay, we're not going to see where they slot in, but it is going to be, this is, look at Arpin heading off the line up towards turn 1. Into the right-hander, you can see there was the contact. So, I'll tell you what, no holds barred, was it, between Sandell and Atkinson there at all?
No, it was clean, though. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't no one really shoving or pushing anyone too crazy.
So you don't think anyone will be too upset with that?
No, that was good racing.
Arpin making that mistake on the first lap. So what was Arpin's overall time? Was 3:31.2 compared to speed was a 3:29.5. So yeah, I reckon he could. I reckon he dropped a half second at least at the bottom of the hill there. How much quicker could Arpin have gone? His car looks good.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like he had that one issue. He had the one mistake that I saw that cost him probably a half a second or so.
Well, he's done a good job either way. Steve Arpin is going to be down with James Rimmer.
Steve, that was a great race. I mean, it must feel so good after all the hard work you guys put into your program this past year. Just tell us a little bit about that.
I'm just still smiling from that launch. Did you see this thing take off? It's been incredible. These guys, this is nothing to do with me. This is my team. These guys have worked their tails off. We've got a little bit of a hybrid old girl here. We got our Fiesta back, and all of our partners that stuck through us with us. Honestly, I've been anxious as all can be. Thank God for CBDMD, helped me calm down. We got Ineos gear oil in this thing, engine oil in this thing. It's protected for the beating we're putting it on out there. But my God, we're in Mid-Ohio. We're racing again. It's June. Year 2 of ARX. It's only going to grow. Make sure to check it out.
Thank you so much, Steve. Congrats.
Appreciate it, buddy.
So there we have it. The first session of ARX 2019 done. We're going to have a look at the standings in a second. But, Bucky, you know, great to see some serious pace from some of these front runners.
Yeah, Steve Arpin. Congrats to you and the boys. Yeah. Right
Steve
on.
Arpin's loving it. But, of course, top
so
of the
good.
table on this one was Scott Speed. So let's take a look at the results from Q1. So Scott Speed takes it, 50 qualifying points for him, but it is Steve Arpin in P2 and Tanner Faust in P3. So 3 different makes of car at the top of the table, a Subaru, a Ford and a Volkswagen. Then it's Atkinson and Sandell, Pecoy and Bigham, the 2 guys who stepped up, of course, from ARX2 to ARX, having their struggles in this one. But I'm sure we will see them get faster during the course of the weekend and indeed during the course of the season. But it's Scott Speed, the champion in his brand new Subaru, at the top of the table. Bucky, what do you think about that? I mean, Speed taking it in the Subaru, car looked good.
I have no issues whatsoever. I'm enjoying it. And next up, I'm going to enjoy this because we have RX3 cars coming up.
Well, those guys are going to be out
over your shoulder.
And you'll be able to see the ARX3 stream. If you head over to the Sierra Buggies Facebook page, you'll be able to catch up. Sierra Cars, sorry, you'll be able to catch up with the guys from ARX3. So they're out on the grid right now and getting ready to go. We've got 2 more streams to come later on today. You'll be able to see both Q2 and Q3 for ARX2, along with Q2 for ARX in our next stream, which is at 13:50 local time. That's Eastern Standard Time. And then later on tonight, you'll be able to see the guys from ARX2 take their semi-finals and their final. They're doing a double header here, and so they'll be doing it all again tomorrow. Of course, the ARX guys got their Q3, Q4 semis and finals tomorrow. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you later on.